Okay, short video lesson on multiples, factors, products, primes, lowest common multiples, highest common factors. Quite a lot of words here, and people quite often get them mixed up, so you may need to watch this, follow this through more than once. Right, the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 and so on. They are the numbers in the 3 times table. The fifth multiple of 50, the fifth multiple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth multiple is 15. So 3 times 5 is 15. The factors of 15 are the things you multiply to make 15. So these are the factors of 15 here in this number sentence. These are the factors. And the product is the thing you make. The 15 is the thing that you make by multiplying these two. So it's a little bit, if you want something that might help you to remember, it's a little bit like in a factory. In a factory you make things and you make products. Here is the product, here is the thing you make, and these are the makers. These are the things you use to make, but you're making by multiplying. So the factors are the makers of 15. So 3 and 5 are used to make 15. But the making is not by addition, it's by multiplying. Now, prime numbers are our most important numbers. Like the Prime Minister is the most important minister in the government, the prime numbers are our most important numbers because they cannot be made from other numbers. Now, 15 is not prime. Because why? Because we can make it from 3 times 5. It's not a prime number. But 11 is one of these prime numbers. 11 is prime because it cannot be made from other numbers. The only way you can make 11 by multiplying is 1 times 11, and that's really cheating because you're making 11 from itself. So you're not making 11 from other numbers. So these awkward numbers, these prime numbers, the most important ones, and here's just a few of them, like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. They're numbers that you cannot make from other numbers. So the next prime number will be 13. The only way that you can make 13 is by doing 1 times 13. The only way you can make it by multiplying is 1 times 13, and that's cheating. You're not making it from other numbers. The next prime number after 13 would be 17. The only way that you can make 17 by multiplying is 1 times 17. So again, you're sort of cheating. You're not making it from other numbers. So that's what makes 17 one of these prime numbers. Right. The multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. The multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The common multiples are any multiples that would appear in both lists. So 15 appears in both lists. And that's the lowest common multiple. It's the lowest common multiple, 15. There would be other ones in common, like 30. 30 would appear in both lists further up, but the lowest common multiple is 15. Now, factorizing. Factorizing means finding the factors. And the factors are the things you multiply to make something. So to factorize 15, we need to find what multiplies to make 15. So 15 is 3 times 5. 3 and 5 are the factors, and as it happens, they're also prime numbers. So what we've done up here is we have written 15 as a product of its prime factors, because they're factors and they're prime numbers. To factorize 21, we need to find what multiplies to make 21. So 21 is 3 times 7. 3 and 7 are factors, and they're also prime numbers. So what we've actually done here is we've written 21 as a product of its prime factors. And 3 is a factor of both of these numbers. Now, to factorize 20, we can write any of these 3 statements here. This one isn't particularly useful because it's not really helping us to see how 20 is made up, but it's included there, but it's not particularly useful. Now, 2 is a prime number, but 10 isn't. 5 is a prime number, but 4 isn't. So we haven't broken 20 down into its prime factors yet. So here's one way of doing it. To prime factorize 20, break it down into its prime number factors, we need to sort of split it down until we can split it down no more. So 20, we can write 20 as 2 times 10. So I'm using this one, but I could have used that one if I wanted to, but I'm using this one to start. So 20 is 2 times 10. I'm breaking it down bit by bit. Now 2 is a prime number. I can't break that down anymore. The only way I can break that down is 1 times 2, and that really isn't achieving anything. So the 10, though, the 10 can be broken down. 10 can be made by doing 2 times 5. but that's a prime number and so is that. So there's no more I can do in the way of breaking down this number, 20. So 20 can be made by doing 2 times 10, and 10 can be made from 2 times 5. So what we've got here is 2 times 2 times 5. 20 is 2 times 2 times 5, and now we've written 20 as a product of its prime factors. Prime factor, prime factor, prime factor. That's 20 as a product of its prime factors. You can do the same thing for 30. And there's 30 as a product of its prime factors. Now this is really quite useful because we can now see, we know that 2 goes into 20, 2 goes into 20, and 5 goes into 20. What that means is, though, that 4 will go into 20. It means that 10 will go into 20. It means that 10 will go into 20. We already know that. As regards 30, 2 will go into it, 3 will go into it, 5 will go into it. But also 6 will go into it. Also 15 will go into it. Also 10 will go into it. So there's a lot we can learn from these two statements here and here. If we're asked what is the highest common factor, what's the biggest number that will go into both, it will be 10, in fact be 10, because so we know that up here that 10 will go into 20. We can see from this as well that 10 will go into 30. So the 2 is common to both and the 5 is common to both, which tells us that 10 goes into that and 10 goes into that, and it's the highest common factor. So if you were to circle that one and that one and that one and that one, there's no more circling, there's nothing more in common. We would circle those 2 as being common and those 2 as being common, so 10 goes into that and 10 goes into that. It's the highest common factor. And that will do. Thank you.